Did you catch in the new Inside Out trailer that Fear has an item custom made for him? Anyone who's seen Inside Out knows Fear has some distinct features, like his bow tie and that sort of curly strand of hair at the back of his head. And in this new Inside Out trailer, we can see that now he's got a pin with a design that's exactly like that funny strand of hair.
Ow. Sorry.
It should be nothing but smooth sailing.
I thought this Pixar movie was just brilliant. It's amazing to see how Disney never disappoints when it comes to richness of details and Easter eggs in their films. And believe me, the new Inside Out trailer is packed with them, which we've compiled here in this video to show you. I wouldn't miss this if I were you. Sad memory? As soon as the trailer starts, we're introduced to the biggest novelty of the film, the new emotions, which look amazing. But before diving into them, did you notice that in the background, there's a sadness memory set in the memory projector? That's evident because of the light blue coloring in the memory holder, which is exactly the color of sadness. Apparently, the memory had just been projected into Riley's mind, indicating that the new emotions might have been triggered by it to appear. Of course, this is just a theory, but it would make total sense, don't you agree?
Make some noise! Sadness is in the house!
Smartphone. Another simply incredible detail we noticed in the new trailer is directly related to the new emotions. To be more precise, to one of them, Ennui. He's seen lying on the couch doing what everyone does when bored, playing on a smartphone. And that's exactly the detail. There are cell phones inside Riley's head. And you can tell by the charger cable plug on the side between Ennui's fingers that you probably hadn't even noticed was placed there. These details Pixar puts in are awesome. They even included the charger cable plug. I love that.
That's ennui. On what?
It's what you would call the boredom.
Plumber's crack. Another of the new emotions that's been quite talked about is embarrassed. He's huge and pink and wears a hoodie to hide his face from others. And in the scene where he's completely embarrassed touching Joy, we can notice a quick detail that most people didn't even catch because it happened so fast. When he turns around and hides himself, flopping on the ground, we can see he wears sort of pink jeans and red sneakers. But what really grabs attention is embarrassed plumber's crack that you can see. It's certain that this was meticulously thought out by Pixar employees to be discussed in YouTube videos like ours now. These folks are genius.
Oh, nope, going high. Oh, you got a real sweaty palm there, buddy.
Fighting anger. Going back a bit and now to the beginning of the trailer, we see Joy acting as a super excited sports commentator. Right after, we see Anger appearing and running as if entering a ring, throwing punches in the air. This is a classic reference to all boxers and fighters who make similar hand movements when entering the ring or octagon. We could say he plays the role of a true Anger Balboa. Take advantage of this fighting spirit and make a lucky move by subscribing to our channel, clicking the button down here. Hockey lamp. If you're into sports, you surely have an item at home that reminds you of your favorite sport. And of course, with Riley, it's no different. If you look closely, you'll notice her lamp is completely focused on the sport she practices with heart and soul, hockey. We can see that the base of our protagonist's room lamp is made with 4 hockey sticks. For the less observant, it's exactly the same lamp that Riley herself visualized in her room in the first movie, and it was one of the few items in the girl's room as soon as she arrived in San Francisco. This is a really cool detail that shows Pixar is always attentive to the smallest continuity details of the story. Hockey everywhere. Besides the lamp, we can see a poster with the phrase, "Hockey is life," which reflects well that Riley's passion in this movie will truly be the sport. Additionally, we can also see her water bottle she uses during training on top of the dresser. Another reference to hockey is another slightly yellowed sticker near the little lamps Riley has near her bed. The sticker also says the word hockey. Riley really loves this sport with all her might. Stars. Still talking about Riley's room and going back to the first movie, she imagined putting several stars on the wall of her room. And we can see that she put quite a few, not just where she had initially imagined, but rather on the side of her bed. Something she hadn't done in the first movie. Riley probably made some changes to her room decor during the interval between the two movies. I quite liked it. Symbols. Like any good teenager, Riley is idealistic, isn't she? Proof of this is the small poster located just behind the lamp we talked about earlier, with a colorful symbol on a white background. In fact, the symbol looks a lot like the symbol that became world famous in the 70s with the hippie revolution. The symbol is a protest against nuclear war and is a reference to the peace and love slogan that the hippies popularized at the time and still remains today. It's very valid to be against nuclear war always. We're with you, Riley. Colors. If you're a fan of Inside Out, you'll remember that the movie production gives a lot of importance to the issue of colors. And when we see Riley in her room, we can see the predominance of a very cool color that has everything to do with our beloved emotions from the first movie. Riley's blanket and clothes are all a mix of lilac and light purple, which is exactly the color of our dear Fear. And about that, we have a guess. Maybe that's the night before Riley arrives at the new school where she'll be playing on a new hockey team, which would make perfect sense for her to be experiencing fear about what could happen the next day on her first day at the new school. And since it's obvious that Riley is obsessed with this sport, today let's put #hockey in the comments here as a tribute to our Inside Out 2 protagonist, Fear at the Dentist. Following the same logic as the previous point, we can deduce that it is implied that Riley doesn't really like going to the dentist. I mean, she might even be afraid. That's why, perhaps, the rubber thing we see her using on her teeth is also the same shade as the color of fear. But she wouldn't necessarily be afraid of the dentist, but rather afraid of something that could embarrass her, like the rubber covered in saliva coming loose and hitting the dentist's face. I don't know about you, but I laughed a lot at that part of the trailer. The dentist's face must have been all covered in Riley's saliva. Dynamites! In the first trailer, we saw that the demolition crew went all out in Riley's control center and left everything in complete chaos, as we can see in the background of the new trailer. But there was one thing we noticed that was honestly a brutal mistake by the team. They left explosive dynamite in Riley's mind. And as we saw in the first trailer, Anger accidentally lit one of them when he got stressed out by the noise that woke him and everyone else up. To tell you the truth, I have no idea what would happen if one of those dynamites exploded in the control center. Would smoke come out of Riley's ears? Game plan board. The focus of this new movie will really be Riley's sports life and how she will develop as a teenager and as a potential professional hockey player. And when she enters with her new teammate into what we believe to be the equipment room or locker room of the hockey team, right next to it, we can see a board of strategies that must have been drawn by the coach of the school team, which suggests that everything in this new school really revolves around this sport. New friends. And it seems like Riley will really make some new friends in this movie, as we can see in the scene where she interacts with two new girls on the ice rink. But this isn't the first time the two characters appear in the trailer. In the scene where we see Riley arriving at the new location, we can see the same two girls interacting and talking to each other. This indicates that it's very likely that the two will be quite important in the movie and be recurring characters. We just don't know their names. At least, not yet. But there's another cool new character, the popular girl. There's a new character who will definitely play the role of the popular girl in this new movie. But what practically no one noticed is that unlike the two other characters, you can see, at least at a glance, her name. If you look closely, you'll notice that she wears a necklace with what we believe to be her own name. Although it's not very clear what her name is, I'd say she looks like a Wendy. And you, can you distinguish the name on her necklace? If so, put the name you saw here in the comments. Those were the 15 coolest details and Easter eggs from the Inside Out 2 trailer that we picked out for you today. I really enjoy making videos about this movie, which is one of my Pixar favorites. The anticipation for the second movie is really high, but to calm myself down, I like to watch some videos here on the channel. If you want to control your anxiety, do the same. We've picked out 2 videos to help you relax until the movie arrives. Just choose and have fun. Thanks, and see you next time.